Hi, welcome to our new channel, Up North Kitchen. Me and my wife Katie, and or my wife Katie and I should say. Anyway, we're gonna make today fish tacos, and I'll take you over here, and we're gonna make the mango salsa first. So in this bowl, I have about a cup and a half of mango, one whole like Roma tomato, a whole probably larger size jalapeno, and a whole medium onion. And I'm going to add to that about, actually I'm going to add all of this to the bigger bowl. So get all that goodie. Yum yum. Then I'm going to add probably about that much lime juice. And then we're going to go a nice good sprinkling of salt or pepper, black pepper, and fairly generous seasoning of salt. And then you're just going to mix it, kind of toss it together. You want to make sure all that seasoning gets mixed evenly, otherwise you have like one patch of a lot of pepper or a lot of salt, and that's no fun. And honestly, that's about it for that. You're just going to let it sit now in the fridge, and it can kind of marinate, and then work on your other ingredients. Now I'm going to make the Asian coleslaw. So I'll take you over here now, and what you're going to do, you're going to have, this is a 14-ounce bowl of shredded coleslaw mix, but first you're going to take in a separate bowl, or in the same one if you didn't already dump it in the main bowl, and you're going to add, this is a, one second please, this is a quarter cup of sour cream, this is a half cup of mayonnaise. Now alternatively you could just buy a bottle of coleslaw dressing, which would work just fine, but for this I wanted to make fresh. And this is a half cup of just pretty much any brand sweet and sour sauce. And then you're going to add your spices, which I've got about a tablespoon of crushed red pepper, a teaspoon of both celery seed and ground mustard. Okay. And then you want to mix all that together. Okay, once that's all mixed together pretty uniformly, you're going to want to take it and add it right to your shredded coleslaw. And then you want to just toss that slowly. And slowly only because you don't want to make a mess. And it may seem dry, but it will eventually bind together. And if you need more, just copy the recipe again and, make some more. Okay, now that you have that kind of mixed together, you're going to add a good dusting of black red pepper, crushed, you know what? It's crushed black pepper. And then some salt. And then a good squeeze of lime juice. You'd probably call that good. Stop squeezing. Stop it. Okay. And then you're going to just mix that all together again. And when that's done, you can set this aside again to marinate, and it will be ready when your tacos are ready. Golly, that stuff's good. That stuff's good. I could just eat a bowl of that. We're gonna make chipotle tartar sauce. It's like my favorite. Anytime I'm having tartar sauce, I prefer that. You can make pretty much make that. Just make a spicy tartar by adding just hot sauce to your tartar sauce, and it's just gonna be that much better. But over here, I'm gonna make the way I like to make chipotle tartar sauce. It's not really chipotle tartar because we're not using chipotle peppers, but we're gonna start with, this is on my thumb. This is now a full cup of mayonnaise. Okay, I'm gonna rinse my thumb off because it's now dirty. Thumb is clean. Okay, and then you're gonna add a half cup of relish, sweet pickle relish. I'm going to do not a ton, but just about that much lime juice, or lemon juice is fine. Lemon juice is fine for any of these things we made today. Well, yeah. And then I like to add just about a drop or two of liquid smoke. And you can add more after it's done if it's not smoky enough for you. Ooh, that stuff smells good though. And then you're going to add a pretty good amount of this hot sauce. This is my favorite to use. It's Louisiana's Pure Crystal Hot Sauce. And you want it to be nice and orange when you stir it up, which I'm not going to, I'll just add more if I need to at the end. And then just a fairly light dusting of ground cayenne pepper. And then you just take your whisk and whisk it together. You gotta taste it to make sure that it is tasty enough. Yeah, it's pretty good. Alright, so that's done. And next is the fish. Okay, and I almost forgot actually, you're supposed to add onion powder, garlic powder, and salt and pepper. And I think the reason I forgot is because usually I put fresh garlic or minced garlic, and I put diced red onion in my tartar sauce. But we didn't this time, so because we had onion and other stuff. So now I'm going to mix it together. And I added a little more hot sauce and a little more liquid smoke for my own taste. And it smells definitely more smoky. That's much better. So that's what you want to do. So for this recipe, we're going to be using a largemouth bass. You don't have to. You can use any kind of fish you want. I think salmon would be excellent, for example. But any white flaky fish would be ideal for this recipe. Bass are excellent for it, though. And you want to pat them dry with a paper towel to make sure the seasoning adheres. Well, I guess it'd adhere better if it's wet, but you want to pat it dry anyway so that it's not extra liquid in the pan, because it won't blacken as well. And you also want to get your cast iron heating for quite a while. You want it to be really screaming hot when you put the meat in there. So I'm going to season this right now. If I can open the container. And you want to very, very generously season it with the Cajun seasoning. And that's, I suppose I should show Cajun seasoning that we're using. Be careful though with a lot of grocery store purchased Cajun because it will have a lot of salt in it, and it tends to oversalt your food then, and then your food tastes like crap because it's all salty. But like I said, generously season this with Cajun. Or if you don't like spicy too, well, one, wrong video for you then. But also, you want to probably use salt and pepper on this, and anywhere I've used hot sauce or crusher pepper, you'd want to use just normal pepper. And this is smoking, so this is very hot and ready to go. So now you're going to spray it down with cooking spray. Again, pretty generously. That'll help a lot of the seasoning stick to the actual meat instead of the pan. And now what you're going to do is you're going to toss a fillet in there. And it's going to smoke a lot, so you know, if you're doing this inside, well, good luck. Deactivate the fire alarm because you're going to need to. I'm just rinsing my hand off quick, but then now what you want to do, once you have that in the pan, now if you really like spicy, you can season the other side with Cajun as well. But generally what I like to do is a little salt and pepper on the other side. It goes a long way for flavoring your food. And then you want to spray it again. Don't breathe over the pan either. But then you just let it cook for a little while. You want them to get nice and black on the one side. Good stuff. Okay, and I think these are pretty good. Now you want them to get a little bit of white creeping around the edge. And then you just flip them. You see how that's got a good amount of black on it. You could probably honestly let it go even longer. It'll just add a more smoky flavor. But that's kind of how you want it to look. And you're going to let it cook for about the same amount of time, and then I'll show you what I do next. Okay, next what you want to do, and you don't have to, but I just take my spatula and just kind of chop up the meat. And the biggest thing this does is helps any bigger, thicker chunks of meat cook all the way through, but it also, you're going to end up doing this to your meat anyway when you put it on the taco, so, you know, just saves you stuff now. Yeah. Alright, so once it's done, just take your pan, scrape all the freshly blackened fish onto a plate, and that'll take you to the next step. Alright, so everything's ready. Now what we're going to do is not really toast, but just warm our tortillas in a pan and then assemble. So, got the pan hot, just going to throw your tortilla down in there. And, you know, not for a super long time or anything, but you just want it to get nice and warm. You can touch it a little and feel it, and it's getting there. Kind of want to cook it almost a little bit. You could probably even go a little longer. You can see how it was softer and more pliable. So you can see how it's bubbling now. It's a good sign to flip it. And you should be ready to assemble your taco. So now that you have all your ingredients together, what you're going to do is take a little bit of this chipotle tartar and spread that on your tortilla. You don't need a lot to begin with. You are going to add more at the end. The next thing you want to do is take a good helping of the fish. Okay, and then I like to go with the chipotle tartar. And this stuff is just so good, and you know, if you have extra, that's not a problem, because you always use it for pork, chicken. I mean, it literally goes with pretty much everything. And then a spoonful of the mango salsa. You can go a little more if you like. And then last, to top it off, you're going to go another drizzle of that chipotle tartar right on top of that. And you're just going to drop your spoon in the tartar sauce. Then you're just going to fold that over, and you have a fish taco. Alright, and this is your this is your fish taco, and that Cajun really sticks in your throat. And I'm going to go ahead and try it. Oh god, this is a messy dish. You know, you get so much spicy. You get so much spicy, but there's that coleslaw and the mangoes. They really add that cool. Oh man, and seasoning every step of the way is key with this, but every single ingredient that goes into that is just, you're tasting all those flavors upon flavors. And these are one of my favorites. This is one of the best ways to cook fish, as far as I'm concerned. But I'm going back in for more.